Hey fellas, today we're going to talk about a forgotten all-star from the 1950s. We're going to look at a couple of the cards that I have of him. We're roasting some coffee right now, so let's get this thing started before the coffee is ready to be done. I'm also going to talk a little bit about this 2023 YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame thing I keep seeing, and hopefully you fellas can help me figure out where I'm not understanding things. All right, let's get started. Hey everyone, before we get started and looking at cards, I just want to take a real quick second and say today I'm roasting Rwandan coffee. And as you can see from the coffee beans, they are relatively small. Very, very small coffee beans. A lot of your African coffee beans are very small. I have this going right now in my roaster, and they are about halfway done. So I won't show them to you because I don't want to lose any heat that's in the roaster right now, but they're starting to turn a little bit, which is pretty exciting. All right, let me move this out of the way and let's get looking at some baseball cards. Uh, I'm pretty excited to show everybody these today, and I'll put it up there. See if that works a little better for me. All right. So today I want to talk to you about a guy named Ed Bailey. Ed Bailey was born in Tennessee in 1931. He was one of the players that was overshadowed in the 1950s by other greats, to include some guy named Yogi Berra and Roy Campanella. He was a five-time All-Star and only amassed a 27.2 WAR. But Ed Bailey would be remembered for his tough play as much as he would be for his mouth. It was Bailey who once said, "I'm a darn good catcher, if I do say so myself." So quite the attitude, quite confident in his abilities. I only have two of these Ed Bailey cards. This is the 1953 206 card. It's Ed's rookie card. The card possibly shows Crosley Field in the background, which is in Cincinnati, or was in Cincinnati. I really like the fact that it showed the power lines and the transformers that can be seen. If this is Crosley Field, something else interesting to note is that the old field, all the way in the outfield near the wall, near the back fence, was actually had a slight hill to her, slight elevation, similar to that of the old Houston Astros, if you remember that from several years ago, back when Lance Berkman was ruling center field and running up the hill and diving to make catches. Except this hill at Crosley wasn't just in center field. It encompassed the whole outfield right near the wall. And of course, we'll show the back here real quick. I love the old backs of these cards. Man, they have so much character. So I find it interesting. So my second card of Ed Bailey, and it's one of my favorite for so many reasons. This is a PSA card, PSA scored card. It's the 1959 Topps 69 Ed Bailey. As I already said, it's one of my favorites. The blue and red cap has that nice, beautiful Cincinnati red that just really pops against the blue hat. Bailey also has a picture of him in his gear, So you can kind of get a feel for that old time rugged feel of the old baseball players. The background, I love the 1955 cards. That background, it's almost simple and yet artistic enough that it draws you in. If we take a look at the back of this card, I think you find something very interesting as well. So on the back, it talks a little bit about Bailey's history. And it said that in 1949 is when he signed with the Redlegs. But another interesting thing about Ed Bailey is that he tried to play earlier in his life. He actually tried out for a team when I think he was 16 years old. And got an invite to go play, but eventually ended up confessing to the fact that he was too young. So I think he was 16. But it worked, and he proved just how good he was. Ed Bailey, 1955, beautiful card. So I'm sure I probably need some help on this, and I'm sure if anyone watches, I'll get some corrections. And you might also get to hear some coffee start popping here pretty soon, which would be very exciting to me. So I keep seeing on several of the feeds I work with this 2023 YouTube's Sports Card Hall of Fame ballot. And honestly, I have no idea what we're talking about here. What is YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame? I understand I'm a newbie. I understand that I don't realize how big the community is. But the fact that the community is big enough that we can say there is a unofficial sports card or YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame is fairly intimidating to me. And you might get to start hearing some coffee pop. Yeah, I joke with people and say I'm just a dumb redneck from Texas. Are you gonna pop? Don't mess with me. Let's see if we can hear. There you go. Can y'all hear that? If not, we're just going to have some awkward time with me staring at. Y'all probably don't want to see my plugs. That's my Baymore. That's the Rwandan coffee I'm roasting. So, but yeah, I find this quite interesting. One guy named off 10 additional YouTube channels that he follows. He said I think he follows like 400 channels. Fellas, I'm starting to understand there's a little more. Yeah, I heard a couple of people say we hope to see so and so at the Nationals, and yeah, fellas, I'll be honest, I just don't understand. But there's a lot I don't understand just in life in general, and so I do want to say this. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all the folks who've kept the hobby going for the years. There's a lot of us who are just now getting back in. And thank you for keeping the hobby going. Thank you for keeping the hobby exciting. And thank you for sharing your cards via YouTube and making this a place where people want to share their cards and share their experiences. I'm extending the roast time if you're wondering why I'm over here reaching. But thank y'all for keeping it going. Thank you for keeping it exciting. And please forgive my ignorance, but I'm very interested. Where do I find this sports card, YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame list, so I can check out other people to watch and listen to? And with that, that'll be it for me. No idea where my channel will go. I'm just testing, trying out experiments, and trying to have fun while trying to collect the cards I like. So that's all for me. Until next time, out here.